A temporary Chicago resident makes a surprise visit to City Council addressing the body. His name, Darren Bailey, the GOP candidate for governor. Also, Alderman Gardner sues the city of Chicago for defamation. Gardner is here with us tonight to get to the point.
From Chicago's very own, with WGN political editor Tahman Bradley, this is The Point.
Good evening. Public comment at City Council meetings are often filled with surprises. Today was no different. Republican candidate for governor Darren Bailey stepped up to the mic for comment. And the first order of business was to address something he said here at WGN Studios 4 years ago, infamously referring to Chicago as a hellhole.
To this city, I owe you something. I owe you an apology. I said some things about Chicago that were wrong. What I meant was that the political class is failing us, and I should have been more clear, and I wasn't, so I apologize.
Bailey is running as the Republican candidate for governor for the second time against J.B. Pritzker, and this time he's vowed to pay closer attention to the Chicago region, and today he made his pitch in the council chambers.
J.B. Pritzker has been governor for 7 years. Chicago is still waiting for fully funded schools, still waiting for a plan. Friends, I'm not interested in waiting, and I know you are not either.
The surprise visit to council comes one day after Bailey was praised by President Trump outside the White House. When asked about the verbal endorsement, Bailey told reporters he wanted to focus on Illinois. Team Pritzker was quick to respond to Bailey at City Hall, posting a map online mocking the Republicans' priorities in the state. More from the council meeting today in a few minutes, but first we shift gears. A Chicago alderman is suing the city. Gardner represents the 45th Ward on the Northwest Side. He wants $1 million for emotional and financial damage stemming from a 2023 investigation. The suit includes Chicago's Board of Ethics and former Inspector General Deborah Witzberg. Gardner was accused of using city resources to retaliate against a constituent who publicly criticized him. Gardner was fined $20,000, but was later cleared of the charges. And Alderman Gardner joins us tonight to get to the point. Good to have you here.
Good, thank you. Happy to be here.
Really appreciate it. So you received the largest fine ever for a sitting alderman. The Inspector General, Deborah Witzberg, concluded that you conspired with ward staffers to write bogus citations against one of your critics. The citations were for overgrown weeds.
Correct.
But your lawsuit alleges it was bogus, it was totally made up, fabricated to destroy your career. Who orchestrated that?
It's a good question. When these accusations were first made by the Inspector General in her office, she was all too happy to go on different TV stations, talk to different press about these accusations. Now that the tables have turned, she's nowhere to be found. When we appealed the decision by the Inspector General's office that had probable cause, that moved to the Board of Ethics, who then said, you're guilty on all 10 counts, I asked for an appeal in front of a hearing officer who's paid for by the City of Chicago, by the way. So the prosecution is the City of Chicago. The judge, the hearing officer, is the City of Chicago. So you can only imagine the hoops I would have to jump through to prove my innocence, which we did overwhelmingly. And in his words, the hearing officer's words, he stated, exculpatory evidence was withheld from the case. It's still to this day, by the way, even though the verdict came out over a year ago, still withheld. And when it was obvious that they lost this case, the city asked if they can dismiss the charges to try to save face. When that was denied, they asked the hearing officer, could you make your decision private instead of public? Why would you do that? When the whole time leading up to the case, you made it public.
This evidence that was withheld, do you know what it is?
I know what it is. I want to know what more evidence they had to prove my innocence.
What is it? Are you allowed to tell us?
I'm not going to get into the weeds of it, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But it overwhelmingly proved my innocence. But the more concerning part is that they spent over $200,000 to hire Hinshaw and Culbertson to prosecute me on these 10 frivolous charges. They lost, obviously. And they spent 3 years, close to 3 years investigating me. How much of taxpayers' money did they waste on this entire witch hunt? That's the question that should be asked.
To be clear, have you ever retaliated against a resident in your ward
Nor would I.
Have you ever withheld or instructed anyone to withhold city services
Never.
against residents? Okay. Now, you say that you and your family suffered severe emotional distress. What specifically are you talking about?
Going through this process, if you've never been accused of something you've never done, it's humiliating. Obviously, it's debilitating. You're not able to focus on your job, your task at hand. But once again, I want to revert back to the fact that Ms. Witzberg made a comment a couple of years ago about that Chicago operates on a deficit of legitimacy. She couldn't be more right. It does. She only furthered that deficit. I am paying it back by shining a light on the Inspector General's office and the Board of Ethics, and I'm asking tonight for the Mayor's office to conduct a full investigation into the Board of Ethics and the Inspector General's office for their unethical behavior.
According to the fire department's promotion plan, you were set to fill the next lieutenant position. You're a firefighter, of course. How upset were you when the city refused to fill the lieutenant position? And do you think that was retaliation by Lori Lightfoot, former Chicago mayor, against you?
So getting promoted to lieutenant on the fire department is the hardest promotion one can get. It takes many, many years to do. When I was next to get promoted, my name was next. Magically, the list disappeared. It was taken down. Now, when the firefighters who were also on that list, who were impacted by that decision, they brought forth a lawsuit against the city of Chicago saying you did this just to get back at Alderman Gardner, who consistently votes against Mayor Lightfoot. When they did that, the city agreed to bring back the list, which they've never done in the history of the Chicago Fire Department. Never done, and they brought it back and they offered me the promotion. They said, you can take it, but you have to step down as an alderman.
Now, I got about 30 seconds left. You admitted to making some mistakes. There were text messages in 2019 where you called a gay alderman the B word. You also called a woman the B word. Do you think that those incidents put a target on your back?
No, that has nothing to do with it. This is the bottom line is that I am being targeted for my political views, for standing up for the residents of the 45th Ward, who elected me and re-elected me to be a fighter for our community, which I do gladly, proudly, and I'll continue to do when I get re-elected in 2027.
Alderman Jim Gardner, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Tahman.
The city tonight told us it does not comment on pending lawsuits, and we reached out to Deborah Witzberg. We did not hear back. We're back in 60 seconds. With the weather warming up, violence and safety is on the minds of many. Superintendent Snelling was at City Club today. Alderman Brian Hopkins, the chair of the council's Public Safety Committee, was at City Hall, and we caught up with him there.
We have to stop making excuses for these teenagers who are doing this. Right?
Alderman Hopkins, the superintendent, told City Club that kids know right from wrong and parents need to know where their kids are at midnight. That's not parent shaming. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I know there's a movement now for greater parental accountability. We're seeing some other jurisdictions that are taking steps in that direction, Washington, D.C., and some other leaders are talking about trying to get parents more involved, which is a good thing. I support that. That's not my effort to lead. I'm still trying to get the curfew ordinance passed, so I'm going to allow my colleagues to take the lead on parental responsibility and parental accountability. But it is part of this larger conversation, and we need a variety of approaches to stop these teen trends. I'll give the superintendent credit. His team has been doing a pretty good job of preventing teen trends from happening. Once we get word that one is being planned, we've gotten much better under the superintendent's leadership at preventing it from happening. However, they still do happen, and that's where my curfew ordinance comes in. If all efforts to prevent a teen trend fail, we still need a very effective tool to be used in that moment of crisis when the chaos is taking over the streets. That's when we have to step in and use all the tools that the police have to quell the violence.
So there's teen trends, but also there's this issue of a lot of people with outstanding warrants who are roaming city streets. You want police to have additional tools. What's your plan?
Yeah, we have tens of thousands of outstanding warrants that are not currently being enforced, and now we're seeing an increase in the number of offenders who are arrested for a variety of crimes that not only have outstanding warrants, but they're supposed to be wearing an ankle bracelet too. So it's clear that there's cracks in the system right now. We're losing track of criminals that are out there running loose when the court has said we need to bring them back into custody. If you have an electronic monitoring bracelet on right now and you have an outstanding warrant, we should be able to find you. If you miss a court date, all we do now is send you a sternly worded postcard. That's laughably ineffective. If you blow off a court date in a criminal case, you have a warrant for your arrest, and you have an ankle bracelet on, we should get you the next day, and you should be in jail, no question about it. And yet we're not doing those things. So we need to look at the system, we need to look at reforms, and take it more seriously. If people are out there when they're being accused of a crime, and they're being allowed to roam free, we should do a much better job of keeping track of their whereabouts. And the minute they skip a court date, they should be arrested.
Our thanks to Brian Hopkins. Tonight, a tip of the hat to the Illinois Senate and their president, Don Harmon, on winning the legislature's softball game. The final score, 10-5. House Speaker Welch reminded the senators that the contest is played every year, and he posted online they should not get comfortable. The House will try to win back the trophy next year. Now, back to business and passing a budget. And that is the point. I'm Tahman Bradley. We're back with more news tonight at 9 o'clock. Don't forget about the forecasters next on WGN+. Good night.